Today's episode of the show, I'm going to be going over a deck profile and answering a viewer's question all at the same time. Let's get started. Yu-Gi-Oh! Man 19 writes, if you have a low budget and don't have enough cards to make Lightsworn or zombies, would you consider making 6 Samurai? With the release of Gateway, they seem to be the way to go for a low budget player. Or would you make a different deck? While 6 Samurai is a pretty good deck type, I don't think Grandmaster is within the budget range. So if I were on a budget, instead I'd run a removal deck. Now, let's take a look at a typical removal deck and what cards are important in that deck and how they interact with each other. Let's take a look at a sample deck list for the removal deck. Now keep in mind, this is a sample deck list. It's not something that you should go and do verbatim, but the deck should be along the lines of this. Now I'd say the best way to get started is to pick up the Dark Emperor structure deck. It'll come with a lot of cards that you're going to need for this deck and many cards that you'll want to use for other decks once you've expanded your collection. In fact, I'd say your best bet is to pick up 3 of these decks. It's going to cost you anywhere from $35 to $40, but believe me, the investment is well worth the cost. Now let's go over some of the cards in the deck. Now the heart and soul of the deck is the ability to continuously remove cards from play, and we can do this with Dimensional Fissure and Macrocosmos. You want to get them out early and keep them out for the duration of the game. As far as monsters go, we want to use things like DD Scout Plane, DD Warrior Lady, DD Assailant, and DD Survivor. Whew, that's a lot of double Ds. All jokes aside, these monsters will help you take advantage of the fact that your monsters are being removed from play, as well as give you an alternate means of removal if you don't hit Macrocosmos or Dimensional Fissure early enough. Speaking about alternate ways of removal, Banisher of the Radiance, Kaiku the Ghost Destroyer, and Caius the Shadow Monarch will apply even more removal pressure on the opponent. Banisher of Radiance's effect to make all cards get removed from play instead of go to the graveyard will stop Necro Gardener and Lightsworn Wolf from activating their effects. Kaiku the Ghost Destroyer's effect to keep your opponent from removing any cards in their graveyard will stop effects of Chaos Sorcerer and the dreaded Dark Arm Dragon. And Caius' ability to remove any card from the field when it's summoned can clear the way for a direct attack by removing a monster or by removing a pesky spell or trap card in the back row. Having a removal card in play and DD Survivor means you'll have almost limitless fodder for your tribute monsters. Also, while having a removal card out, paying the cost for cards like Lightning Vortex with DD Scout Plane is beneficial, seeing as it doesn't matter how it got removed from play, it'll still get special summoned during the end phase, free to tribute for a monster like Caius. Sure, DD Scout Plane is weak and can be easily destroyed by your opponent during their turn, but if you have your removal card out, it'll just be special summoned during the end phase again, which you can use it for fodder to summon another tribute monster, like Caius. Most likely you won't use this deck to go 7-0 at a Shonen Jump tournament, but for relatively cheap you can make a competitive deck that has a great matchup against Zombies and Lightsworn, which are 2 of the top tier decks of the format. Let me know what you think about this short deck profile by either leaving me a comment or sending me a message saying if you like this idea, if you would like to see more videos of this type, and if so, what deck should I cover. As always, thanks a lot for watching. This has been Duel School with Fitzroy. I'm Fitzroy, and you guys just got schooled.